All right, I'm so excited to have in studio today the producer and director of a play that everybody needs to go and watch, because it's a dark comedy that depicts something that's very close to my heart, which is personality disorders when they're full blown and in their element. And I refer to it as ego that's run amok. And in the play, we're dealing with addictions, and pretty much everybody has some form of addiction. And all of my students, I fondly refer to them as crackheads. And I just say, what is your crack? Mine is sugar. So, don't act like you're not a crackhead, because everybody pretends like if they smoke pot, then someone who's a pothead will talk about people who are alcoholics. And it's so funny to see them argue with each other about, well, at least mine is legal, but now that marijuana is legal, and it's like, okay, stop it. Everybody's an addict in some way, shape, form, or another. We just have different kinds of addictions. And so watching this play, I've never laughed so long and so loud, because I ended up writing the first bestseller on Amazon for the layman on personality disorders, called "I Thought I Was the Crazy One." And then when I first discovered that there was such a thing as personality disorders and there was a name for it, I was like, oh my goodness, okay. and I was like, I knew that there was a name. And so I have in studio the producer, who is also a lead actress in the play. It's Fayna?
Yes.
Fayna, I
Hello.
love that. Fayna Sanchez. And I have the director, Tony Gatto? Gatto. Okay, but I want to say that the other thing, what led me to go and see the play, and I just didn't even question it, was the person who wrote it. I am such a fan of this Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, whose name is Stephen Adly. How do you say it? Guirgis. And if you've never seen any of his plays, just Google him, Stephen Adly, Guirgus, and you will know why you should come out and see this play. Now, we can't pronounce the four-letter word on air, but it's called the MFer with the hat, and I think you can figure that one out, okay? The MFer with the hat. And I'm so grateful to have you guys in studio. And I literally begged them after seeing the play, please extend it just one more show so that I can bring my students to watch it and bring all of my crackhead friends. They all know that this is, we fondly call each other crackheads, okay? And let everyone have just this amazing time laughing at themselves and laughing at everybody they know who has some form of addiction and who is out of alignment. So I want to turn this over to you guys, and I want to ask, I suppose the producer got it first, or the director. Who ended up, you guys collaboratively did this?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. This is so exciting, and it's really, why we do what we do is to get a feeling from people to wake them up in some sort of way. So we just feel really gracious. Yeah.
So let's just talk about your journey in choosing this play and why you guys loved it and you decided to produce and act in it and you wanted to direct it.
Yeah, so I've been an actor my whole life, and I was actually studying in my weekly class, and we bring in, it's like a scene study class, and it's really about the work. It's not to get an agent or to it's not for a means to an end. It's just really about the work.
Yeah.
And someone had recommended this play to me, and so me and the other lead actor, George, did one.
Who did he play?
He played Jackie.
Okay.
Yeah. And we did it in class. We did the first scene in class, and it was, not to get very dramatic, but it was a really life-changing moment for me personally. this writing, these characters.
Oh my God, the dialogue. It's just, it's like, I just go, oh no, he didn't write that. No, she didn't say that.
Yeah.
I couldn't even like stop myself. I was talking. And I was like, oh, let me shut up.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's really, it's almost like poetry, but
Yes,
but
it
in
is
this
poetry.
Yeah, this modern, urban, real way.
But it's deep and profound, and I kept, like I was watching the play, and I was like, okay, it's gonna fall apart somewhere. You know how with live theater, what was so magical about this play is that it's 5 actors, right, and actresses, and every one of them is so strong. I mean, the way that you guys play off of each other, the timing, everything is so magical. And I have to say, okay, I have to talk about this moment where, it was theater in the round, and I'm sitting there like right now with my legs crossed, and I don't know how that cup just like came out from under my chair. I mean, I literally had set it under my chair, and in the middle of a dramatic scene, I kicked the cup, and it makes this noise, and so, whoop, and I go, oh my God. And the actor just picked it up, put it in the scene, and said, oh, there must be a ghost in here somewhere. I've never seen such seasoned actors before that made you suspend disbelief. That's what's so powerful about it. Yes, the writing. I mean, without that kind of writing, it's really hard for good actors and actresses like you guys to actually find something that you can sink your teeth in, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's where it started. The writing, these characters, they're so, in my opinion, it's so masterfully written.
And so real and authentic, and what made you want to direct it, Tony?
I'll back up a little bit. Fayna and I met in 2010. We actually did a play of Stephen Adly Guirgis' called The Last Days of Judas Iscariot.
Oh, I saw that one, yes.
And we shared a dressing table, actually. And not just that, over time, we got to realize that we shared the same sensibilities about theater, about acting, about the love of the word, about the love of the performance. And we've maintained a friendship all that time. We've actually produced a play together called 1969 4 years ago.
Okay.
So our relationship has some really great roots.
So it was a no-brainer in terms of the two of you.
He was the first person, the only person I asked, because I knew that this play was a beast.
Yes.
I knew I wanted to really, like you said, sink my teeth into it personally and really do it and respect the words.
Because your character is so multi-dimensional, but she's larger than life, and she has this exterior that's so tough. And I kept going, are we going to see any, tenderness? And we get to see, all of the characters are very full dimensional.
Well, eventually, when you're around someone like that, you know there's some fragility.
Exactly.
You know that there's a wall.
Yes.
And if you're around them long enough, you see the cracks.
Yes.
You see things that start to crumble away, and you get a sense of who that person is inside.
Yeah.
Fayna does a fantastic job
Yes.
of keeping it hidden to the very last moment.
Yeah.
She wants to show, I believe, the character, as Fayna masterfully interpreted, the idea of keeping that wall up, keeping her strength, because that's her survival.
Exactly.
That is her mode of living.
Of course.
That's how she needs to move forward in life, until she gets scraped and scraped and scraped, and finally somebody chips at it. And she has a very small, but I think life-changing moment at the end of the play, where, again, baby steps.
And we can't give it away.
We will not. We will not. But a baby step that pushes, that can push something very big, at the end. Yeah.
It was so profound. Like, the character arcs are so perfect that when I can get surprised by a plot, it's good.
Great.
I mean, it's beyond good, because I'm a writer myself, and I've won awards for my writing. So when that play like blew me away with the twists and turns, I went, okay, everybody's really got to see this, because I know, like, for years I managed kids in show business for like 15 years, and I know talent. when I see it. And the talent that is on that stage, everybody needs to just have that magic to be close
for the play to work.
Thank you.
Right?
For the play to work, exactly.
Yes.
They worked very hard a certain synergy, each one of them.
You can tell.
Yeah, 5 of them, and it's very difficult to do with something so deep
and intense.
The poetic, I believe that it is this urban poetry.
It is.
It is this
every line. I'm just blown away.
Absolutely. There is this depth to it, and there are no filters when they speak.
None.
There are secrets,
Yeah.
but no filters in the moment.
And I love
that's
it.
a very, very powerful thing.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what I kept looking at was the depths that people will go to hide the truth.
Yeah.
And how when you're dealing with the ego and you're dealing with personality disorders, they can justify anything
Absolutely.
they do.
Absolutely.
No matter how out of alignment, no matter how egregious the behavior is, they really believe their lie.
Yeah.
They really believe that they're doing something good. And I think that realism is the core of that play.
They all have their own personal truths, what
Yes,
they believe
absolutely.
is right, what is moral in their lives.
Yeah.
However, you compare that to those other characters on the stage, and when they all butt heads, you know you're in for something really big.
Some profound truths do
Absolutely.
come across.
And I think that's the thing for me that's so exciting after the play when I speak to people who have seen it, the audience members that stay. Everyone stays. There's such a response after the show that people want to stay and talk about it.
Amazing.
And what's been so interesting is that every night the audience has been different. The response,
Yeah.
the energy.
Because everybody gets something different out of it.
Exactly. And it really does depend on where your moral compass
Of course,
lies.
absolutely.
And who you go on their sides or whatever. So it's really
Absolutely.
interesting to hear that.
There's amazing justification that goes on.
I think all of you guys in the cast deserve, like, what awards do they give for playwrights? What do they call Tonys or
For the actors, Tony.
Yeah, I
Tonys.
mean, every actor and actress, the 5 people in there, they are stellar. Tony, they deserve some Tony awards for the magic. So Tony, okay.
Yes.
How about what the casting? Now we know about Fayna, she's producing it, but what about the rest of the people? Because that's the magic of this play.
Fayna brought the play to me with 2 other actors in tow, Jorge-Luis Paulo, and Libby Ewing. Libby was also in the same class with them.
Now Libby is the one who played the wife.
She
okay.
plays Victoria. We needed to find the right chemistry. Fortunately, we brought in 2 actors right off the bat, and it's incredibly surprising to have something so simpatico so soon. We did a little searching for the final and 5th character, but once it happened, I knew sitting at the table in my living room, in my dining room, that we did have something a little bit more magical than I've normally have put together. As the old adage is, 95% of directing is casting.
Yes.
And
No, that is absolutely true.
When I looked and heard these amazing people read this play, I knew there was something there. I knew there was something extraordinary there, yes.
Yes, and it truly is. I've never seen anything like it in that, like I said, even when I interrupted the whole play. They didn't miss a beat. Only truly seasoned, accomplished actors and actresses can do that. Clearly there's some improvisational background within everybody in the group, right?
Yeah. Everyone has been studying for a long time. Everyone, we're at a point in our lives where we've been doing this 10, 15, 20 years. This is our passions. And what I wanted to say about casting was there's been this really incredible thing with this production that it's been hard because we're doing everything ourselves.
Yes.
We don't have, a company. There's nothing. There's no money. There's nothing.
There's just love.
There's just love. But the thing that's been really incredible is that there has been this magic.
Yes.
Where things have just kind of fallen into place.
Yes.
And I really do believe
synchronicity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And this started as a very small idea. This started as we're going to do this show for 3 nights.
Right.
Which we
and
did.
it's been selling out.
Yeah.
We did the show back in October for 3 nights only for a benefit, with that being the only goal in mind.
Yeah.
With the response, and with what the actors were experiencing on stage themselves, they did not want to let it go.
I know, right? It's so magical.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that I really appreciate you as the director, bringing all the cast outside and allowing everyone who wanted to meet them and talk to them.
Yeah, for most shows that I do, actors begrudgingly do that.
Yeah.
There is a sense of want from these actors.
Well, they're gracious about it. They love it.
They really are. I think it's because they have such attachment to who these people are. When you said something earlier about improvisation, I call it playfulness.
Yes,
As
it
a
is,
director,
isn't it?
if I can't get actors to play on stage to discover something,
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And when I saw that element,
Yeah.
it was spot on.
It was just joy. And I got to talk to the one who plays the cousin.
Julio.
Julio.
That's Eddie Martinez.
Oh my God, Julio is so magical. And when I spoke with Julio, he said that when he read the script, he was like, this is me. He's actually from the town that the character is from.
Yes.
But I love the way his take on the character. He did something very, very magical with that character where he's not so over the top,
Right.
but he's not, he's just right there in the middle, and you love him.
You do. I think there's with every character, but I think it's magnified with the character of Julio, about who they actually are.
Yes. He keeps a mystery about it.
He absolutely does. He does a masterful job at showing you what he believes he is. Yet at the same time, we doubt him.
Yes.
We
for
continually
sure.
doubt him. Yet he may turn out, well, I won't give it away, but he may turn out to be who you actually think he is.
Yeah, and he may not.
Right, exactly.
and that was the magic of all of the characters in there. But also these moments of profound truth that just kept like coming out of nowhere. And there was also, like, with the guy who played your boyfriend, what was his name?
Jackie.
Jackie, played by Nelson Del Rosario.
Yeah, but Nelson, his...
Oh, no, sorry, Jackie. George.
Oh,
Yeah.
George, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. Well, his character is really searching for truth. He just wants the truth. And, I think that there's something in all of us when we're dealing with addicts and we're dealing with the personality disorders in our lives, or what we might call people who are just full-blown in their ego. Try to get the truth out of them. OMG. It's like it would kill them they would literally die.
Yes.
Right.
It's like the holding that lie together is so important to them. It's as if their whole personality would crumble if they told the truth. And so you really feel for that character. He just wants the truth.
Jackie was probably a product of his environment growing up.
Of course.
He has taken on substances. He's been in jail.
But he's got a good heart.
Absolutely. But you watch him search and with his
He's
soul.
trying to find integrity.
Oh, my.
Yes.
And you just feel for him because you know what it's like. You have different circumstances in your life, obviously.
Yeah.
But watching him struggle to find out what is the right way to find happiness.
Yes. And isn't that what we're all looking for?
Yes.
And to me, I feel like every person in this play, every character in this play is searching for that.
Right.
It's searching for, how do I get happy? What does my happiness look like? And I think that that's what's so interesting about it, because you get 5 different takes on the struggle of life, the struggle for love, the struggle for truth.
And for integrity, because see, that's something that in all of my classes, like the class that I'm teaching is called Singularity, a course in transcending duality. And in order to transcend duality, you got to look your ego straight in the face, okay? And you've got to be really honest about who you think you are and who you are pretending to be in public, but who you truly are when you're alone with yourself. And that all of those aspects of the selves we've come to this point in human evolution where now we're entering into transparency, and it's very, very difficult now for people to hide who they are. And so that play really encapsulates, like, where you gonna hide? Okay, where you gonna run now? Okay, what lie are you gonna tell next?
It can be very dangerous, because I think we're very afraid to put the selfie phone down, to be away from everyone, having our own time to actually go through our soul, our brains, our hearts, to figure out who we are
authentically.
We do, and we do everything. A lot of us do everything possible
to avoid
those moments. Yes,
and yet we're at that point in human evolution where people are falling apart. They're literally losing their minds. They're losing their relationships. They're losing everything that's important to them because they cannot be authentic. They cannot move into alignment and integrity with the truth of who they are. And what I'm having to do to literally give permission to the students to move into alignment is to say, it's okay. If you're dark, okay, it's dance in your darkness, okay? Just own it, embrace it. I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna accept you, right where you are, but stop pretending to be something that you're not.
Right.
And in that moment, you will see people go, for real? You mean I can just be who I am and be accepted?
It's beautiful what you do, because the education, people don't know how to sometimes.
Because they're so afraid of rejection.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like ego is based in fear.
Of course.
Just fear.
Nothing but fear.
Exactly. Fear of what people are going to think
And
about me.
lies.
Fear about what that means, what place that puts me in, and how people view me in that. And I think that what this play does is that you get to see that. We don't get to hide.
It's raw. There's nowhere for you guys to hide.
And there's nowhere for the audience to hide.
Yeah, and it's theater in the round, which makes it so intimate. And I'm so happy that you guys could do it in the round.
That was a very difficult decision for us. We
Why
went
was
back
that?
and forth.
Because that was the magic of this play, don't you? A lot of
Absolutely.
part of it.
Absolutely. I think as an actor, from an acting standpoint, in the round is very scary for that exact reason, that there is literally not a second that you can hide. If you get in your head, if you go up on a line, if you trip, if, at one point my earring fell out, it's like there's nothing. Someone is looking at you, no matter what.
Somebody's
if you're
gonna
talking,
catch it.
exactly.
It forces the actors. There's a certain parallel here, because it forces the actors to be true.
Yes.
If they turn their head a wrong way, if they react uncharacteristically as that character, that audience sees.
Yeah.
And that forces them, and that's the difficult decision in making this and turning this into the round, is that they have to be on their toes every second.
That's so true. And they never came out, they suspended disbelief, because they never had a second where you didn't believe everything that was going on, everything that they were saying, and the blocking, the movement, everything was just so perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that we got really lucky that every single actor came in with such a dedication and such a passion to these characters. And then, of course, Tony leading us has been a true, I don't know what we would have done.
Well, because the director can make or break the whole production.
There's a certain sense of getting out of the way, and there's a sense, and you have to balance that with how much you guide them.
Exactly.
If you can put the right seeds in them, especially in this play, it was a very difficult trajectory for each character. But if you are there with them, moving up and down and sideways with them, and answering their questions regarding, am I going the right way? After a certain amount of time, they know.
That's true.
And they just go.
And you allowed them.
Yes.
Because that is so important. It's like being a parent, you know. When do you let the kids figure things out for themselves, and when do you trust that you've done your job well enough?
I've trusted it now last week when they yelled at me to get out of the dressing room so they can be who they wanted to be. As a director, you're constantly...
That's love.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
And,
it is.
And for you had to get your ego out of the way, right?
Yes. Up until that point, we're constantly refining and changing. And this whole process has been very fast.
Yes.
So we have missed a few things here and there. You can push hard as a director, but again, learning from them when to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And literally, that was last week.
Well, I can't wait to see it again and again.
You'll have a very different experience.
You know, because when I like something, it's just like I can't get enough of it.
Good.
And that it's saying a lot, because there are very few movies or plays that I've seen more than once, because there's just not enough depth or layers to it that I would pay money or spend time to go see it. So
that's been one of the things that's been most humbling and exciting, that we've had lots of people come a second, a third, a fourth time to see this show. And I think it's because of that. I think it's because when you come and see, because it's in the round, if you sit somewhere different, you get to see someone else's story, someone else's reaction to what was said. So it's pretty neat.
But what was the challenge in finding a theater where you could do it in the round?
Wow.
Because I was worried about whether that was going to happen.
I mean, at this point, that is our world. The round is our world.
Right?
That cannot be something that's taken out. That's like as if one of the actors couldn't do the show. It really is our universe now. So that was a really important thing to us.
We have been incredibly fortunate in finding spaces to make that happen.
Wow.
This was the first place we looked after the
Isn't
initial
that
run
something?
end. Yes.
And this is how you know, like, I love the two words serendipity and synchronicity, because, you know, serendipity is these happy little coincidences, and then synchronicity is where timing and opportunity just collide. And that's where all the magic is. And so I released it. Like, I was so disappointed when I didn't hear from you last week, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to release it. And I find that when I release things, the universe can make things happen in a much more profound way than I ever could. And it looks like that's what's been happening with this play. It
is so interesting that you say that. I have been an actor and a producer for many, many years. And so I'm a control freak. I'm a producer. I have all my spreadsheets and I have everything. And with this project, because I'm trying to turn over a new leaf just personally, I really decided to give up, like give in to the universe just providing. And in doing so, this has been, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been very difficult, but this has just been this really amazing, magical things just falling into place, finding the perfect Ralph, finding the perfect Cousin Julio, finding the perfect space. A day after we closed, finding the next space for the extension, you coming, and it's just been, if I would have tried to have any of this happen,
couldn't have happened.
None of it would have happened,
right.
you know? So it's just been this really, really neat thing.
And I really think that this play is a piece whose time has come, because this is 2017, and we really have moved into transparency and authenticity. And this play allows people to look at themselves and all the places inside of them where they are being inauthentic and where they're not being honest. And, to be able to ask themselves, okay, how can I come into alignment? Because when I'm out of alignment, who am I hurting the most?
Right.
Because if you look at the characters, each of them are hurting other people, but they're hurting themselves the most.
There is one character that we have yet to talk about, is the character of Ralph.
Oh my goodness.
Ralph,
he's the one that you love to hate.
You listen to Ralph speak and share his morals and his views
Oh
on
my
things.
God, he's so honey sweet.
And he's as charming as can
Yes.
be. And you listen to what he says, and in
You
the
believe
same,
him.
in the same breath, it's as absurd and it's truthful.
Yes.
And I think that character alone exemplifies what you're trying to say.
That's the genius of the
Yes.
writing.
Yes. It makes you actually examine yourself. At the end of the
Yes.
play, he has the time to sit there to realize my world, what I've created, may not be as perfect or truthful as I have created.
Right. Well, that I'm so glad you brought up his character, because there were so many surprises and twists with his character. But even at the end, you loved every one of the characters. You couldn't even get Fayna, your character.
I get
is
it.
tough.
No, I get it.
She's
Yeah.
hard to like.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, that's a given.
That's the thing that, again, is so masterful about these characters. You love them and you hate them at certain moments, because that's real life.
Yes.
That's real people. You love the person that you're with, say your husband, wife, partner, whatever. But there are moments. Don't get me. You know what I mean?
course,
There are moments
absolutely.
that you want to throw them through a brick wall.
Oh, absolutely. And you're like, what am I doing here?
Right.
Did you notice that the Puerto Rican almost came out there?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm getting into it.
I love it. And that's the other thing that I wanted to say is the Puerto Rican accent that
thank
you have.
you.
How did it get so authentic? And you're from Spain, right?
I'm from Spain, so I've got the Latina my
yeah,
life.
You got that.
Yeah,
It's real.
But it was really important to me to do the work. So I'm glad that it makes you happy.
Regarding what you do, educating people to, and don't get me wrong, this is not a history play. This is not something you should take away like, oh, I've learned so much. You feel more than you learned. You feel.
Yeah.
In turn.
But you learn through feeling.
That's exactly what I'm
Yes.
about to say, is maybe you can take a little piece of fruit from this
Yes.
to examine who you are,
Yes.
your truths,
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
I that's what I get, because it
Yeah.
truly has, as it has the actors, it has changed me as well. So if we can give that tiny little nugget
Yeah.
to someone and raise an eyebrow for a little bit of self-examination, we've done our job.
Well, how has it changed you, though, Tony? In one way, just one way.
Examining who I think I am.
Wow.
I'm not who we are. Most of us are not who we actually
We
think
wear
we
masks,
are.
don't we?
Constantly.
Yeah.
And when you have that in your face every week, you get to have a little self-introspection and examine reflection and realize, okay, that's not who I am. So let's throw that away. Let's push that aside and let out what is really there.
Yeah.
Specifics, as a director, yes, but more as a person.
I mean, I completely agree with Tony. In a general sense, I think that theater is a really incredible vessel to get straight to the soul of an audience member if they're open enough to see it, to have that. And, if I can move someone to think even for 5 minutes after the show.
And to laugh.
And
oh
to
my God,
laugh.
there's so much laughter in there. I could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
And it's so spontaneous.
Yeah.
That is such the gift of laughter.
And in these kind of crazy times right now, it's been filling me up personally with a lot of joy and inspiration, and luckily we've been giving it to the audience as well. So.
Fayna and I just yesterday had a little moment together after the stress of putting up the new, getting the new space ready. doing some tech work and setting lights and staging, as frustrated as we were, and walking out to just take a break, we looked at each other and kind of knew that it's all worth it. And it was, dare I say, a little moving for both of us. We shared a little bit of something yesterday.
Wow.
And it's put everything in perspective.
Well, and I just want to say it's so rare in live theater that you can even sit in an audience with actors and actresses of this caliber, but also to just have this kind of writing come to life.
Steven's amazing.
Oh my goodness. So that's what I want to say. You guys do not want to miss the last 2 weeks, of this play, because it's truly a gift to humanity, and it's food for the soul.